The honor of closing the WSK Master Series season falls on the track of Castelletto di Branduzzo and on its 1260 meters of asphalt. At the end of this weekend, the best pilots of the karting world will be crowned champions of the season. The youngest of them competed the BD60, where the Spanish Eliseo Martinez is just one step away from winning everything he could have won. His opponents are stronger than ever though. Among them, the Tony Kart pilot from India, Kush Maini. His young talent has shown impressive skills during the last season and is definitely worth all the attention he has attracted. Among the other drivers, who can have a say in the final rankings, we can find the Italian Leonardo Marsaglia, who proved his mettle during the last races on his top kart and has tried to live up to his podium ambitions, the Greek Konstantinos and the Malaysian Abdul Ghaffar. In the following category, the KF Junior, one of the main names of everyone's lips for the final champion title is the one of Alessio Lorandi, who is first in the rankings after the amazing victory in Precenico, Friuli. Lorandi will have to face two of his arch-nemesis, Daniel Tikhtum and Nikita Sitnikov. Both the English FA driver and the Russian Tony Kart pilot are especially focused in order to exploit the last chance to reap results, which have, until now, been subpar. Together with them, the Russian Nikita Sitnikov and the Canadian Parker Thompson, the former on Tony Kart and the latter Energy, are willing to crown a satisfying season with an amazing last race. One of the most hardly fought and anticipated categories is the KF. At the top of its rankings, we can find the French speed demon Dorian Boccolacci. His winning intention is clear, his plan and his skills too. He will have to face his opponents who will not give him an easy time. Ben Barnicoat is among them, driving his RGP, while Lance Stroll will be opposing him on his Zanardi. Both of them are well apt in the art of winning, and both of their teams have the technical means to claim a title. Last but not least, the Croatian Kodric, who has shown constant results and an untapped potential which could shoot him in the kart stardom. In the KZ category, we can find the veterans of the karting world, with trophies so abundant on their walls that they had to take down their favorite posters in order to have enough room. The category champion title is an open challenge between Max Verstappen and Riccardo Nigro, and they will surely be able to show us why their names are so famous. The Dutch CRG pilot arrives on the track after 2 weeks hiatus, following his triumph on the Belgian track of Genk, where Max collected his well-deserved European champion title. His skills, speed, determination and focus had no equals, and no one was even close to being a nuisance in Verstappen's plan. Max's first and foremost opponent is the Italian Riccardo Nigro, winner of the WSK Euro Series, an unlucky protagonist of mechanical failure during the Genk track, which took away his European dream. After all, Nigro had won with ease the Wackendorf event and was ready to climb the topmost step of the podium. Riccardo is now on the hunt, and wants to conquer the laurel of Euromaster champion. Revenge will be served hot on cartwheels this weekend. Other pilots will join the mayhem, other big names whose success is echo in the world of karting, such as the English Benjamin Hanley. This guy's kart has been reliable, stout and extremely well performing. We are sure that the challenge with the Monegasque Leclerc will be sparkling, while the R Grand Prix driver tries to snatch away the first huge satisfaction of the season. After Wednesday and Thursday free trials, all of the pilots are accustomed to the stifling heat in Castelletto. This is the hottest race these drivers have gone through this year, and the Seven Lakes track will be shimmering with the heat waves from the soft asphalt. On Friday afternoon, the qualification for the last round of the WSK Master Series start. In the Mini 60, the Russian Ivan Grigoriev snatches the last pole position of the Master season while driving his hero kart. Behind him, Leonardo Marsiglia does not shy away from racing to the maximum of his abilities and is able to obtain the second overall time, just ahead of the Italian Giuseppe Fusco. The two top players of the event, Eliseo Martinez and Kush Maini, negatively surprised the audience by positioning 9th and 18th respectively. In KF Junior, the qualifications showed us the first clash of titans, where Lando Norris collects the first super pole of the season, just 6 milliseconds ahead of Alessio Lorandi, who quite clearly stated his intentions to everyone on the track. The performances by the Finnish Niko Kari, 3rd, and the Russian Nikita Signikov, 4th, are also noteworthy. In the KF category, the French Dorian Boccolacci was able to drive fastest than anyone else, conquering the pole position after finishing just 13 milliseconds ahead of Callum Ilott, who in turn left behind his tires the fellow countryman Ben Barnicoat. During KZ qualifications, the super-fast Ben Hanley, behind the wheel of an Art GP, was able to put his foot in the door in the duel between Verstappen and Nigro. The young Dutch driver recorded the second best time, 127 milliseconds more than Hanley, while Nigro was able to choke down his name in 5th position. After the time trials, the qualification bout started. In the Mini 60, the French Lucas Legeret is able to win 2 different bouts on his Tony kart. Another 2 bouts end up in the greedy hands of Leonardo Marsiglia, one of the big shots in the general rankings. Behind the 2 aforementioned drivers, another 2 Italians nest in the charts, Giuseppe Fusco and Domenico Cicognini, the former driving a Lenzo and the second taming a wild AKS. They both confirmed that the next generation of Italian drivers is ready to take up the challenge of the veterans. In the hyper-competitive KF Junior, the British Lando Norris is the only one with a flawless performance, and he is thus able to win 4 bouts out of 4. Nor his intentions nor his skill can be mistaken. The only bastion between Norris and his complete conquest of the track seems to be Leonardo Lorandi, who is able to win 3 of the bouts out of the 4 he takes part in. Both the Finnish Niko Kari and the American Logan Sargent are able to impress the public with their performances. 13 milliseconds short of a pole position, the English Callum Ilott had a major comeback during the bouts for the KF category. His Zanardi won during all of the rounds he took part in, while the French Boccolacci had to make do with the second position, ahead of Ben Barnicot, Martin Kodrick and Luca Corberi. Last category was the KZ, the pilots of which raced both the qualification bouts and the first of the two scheduled finals during Saturday. It was the English Benjamin Hanley behind the wheel of his R Grand Prix who won neatly both of the qualification bouts to the final. The R Grand Prix team has proved to be extremely competitive on the 7-legs track, and this allowed the Monegasque Charles Leclerc to conquer the second place. Additionally, the entire first row of the first final will fly the banner of this team. The newly arisen European champion Max Verstappen seemed a bit overshadowed during the qualifying heats, and so has Riccardo Nigro. Both of them are very close to the top position though. The last event of Saturday is the first final of the KZ. A departure in which the two pilots of the R Grand Prix get one in the way of the other, allowing the always ready Max Verstappen to take command of the race already during the first lap, just ahead of the British Benjamin Hanley, the Italian Riccardo Nigro and the Monegasque Leclerc. Once in command, with a gap of 0.6 seconds, Max Verstappen puts his tactics into practice. Run away, leaving the clash for the second place far behind him. But Benjamin Hanley is not of the same advice, and is able to halve the gap in just one lap. Behind them, Riccardo Nigro is forced into 4th position by Leclerc and to his kart, which is right now much more performing. During the 4th lap out of 16, an unexpected twist changes the perspective on the race, where Benjamin Hanley starts riding right behind Verstappen and is able to overtake him with decision. This takes the English up in the lead of the race. In the meantime, Alessandro Manetti, who started from the 7th position on the grid, attacks and overcomes Riccardo Nigro and jumps up in 4th place after a great comeback. The race continues with the fast Benjamin Hanley ahead of everyone. He is able to consolidate his position by gaining precious stance of Verstappen. The Dutchman in turn feels the pressure of Leclerc right behind his back. During lap number 7, in fact, the R Grand Prix of the Monegasque manages to overcome Verstappen, who now slips into 3rd position. Max Verstappen is showing one side of his agonistic behavior which we were not accustomed to. Not only he can be the all-grinding powerhouse who powders his opponents, but in this case he shows remarkable tacticism. Surely his 3rd place is for the better. Max in fact realized that both of the R Grand Prix were nearly unbeatable on this track today, and so he kept his pace and didn't force anything. A 3rd place is in fact more than enough for him to become the new champion for the Master Series 2013. And so the checkered flag on the finish line salutes the victory of Benjamin Hanley, the 2nd place of Charles Leclerc and the 3rd position of the new champion Max Verstappen. On Sunday morning, when the drivers arrive on the track, there is a nice surprise waiting for them. A Honda CBR 1000 has been placed in the paddock area. This is the motorbike upon which Johnny Rea and Leon Haslam ride during the SBK World Champion. Straight from Imola, the bike is in Castelletto thanks to the owner of the Pata company, Remo Gobbi, who is and has always been one of the biggest motorsports aficionados in the Italian panorama. The bike is on its way to the airport of Milan, where it will be boarded and transported to Moscow, where it will be employed in the SBK race. Luca De Donno, promoter of the Euro Series event, thanked Remo Gobbi for the show and invited him to attend the pre-finals and finals. Everything starts with the pre-final of the Mini 60, where the main protagonists of this category's season are the only real stars of the race from start to finish. The Spanish Eliseo Martinez, who wanted to dispute the last event, even knowing that mathematics had crowned him champion, Leonardo Marseglia, who is among the best Italian talents and is perpetually growing in talent and skill, and Giuseppe Fusco, a pilot who can make impossible happen. Notwithstanding the big shots involved, the always focused Luca Legere pulled off a lap on his Tony kart in the lead of the race after a start from the pole position. After a while, Eliseo Martinez snatched the command from the French, and he kept it firmly in his hands until only 2 laps were left. In fact, this is when Fusco pierces the defensive walls of the Spanish, who is later also overcome by Leonardo Marsiglia. Under the checker flag, Giuseppe Fusco honors his Lenzo, just right ahead of Marsiglia and Martinez. All the 3 of them are within 274 milliseconds one from the other. During the A pre-final for the KF Junior category, the Ricky Flame team driver Lando Norris does not leave a single bit of possibility on the asphalt of his opponents. He starts from the lead and closes the race in the lead without a single moment's respite. He closes his performance with a gap of more than 2.5 seconds on the Finnish Kari Nikko and the Russian Alex Vartayan. The unlucky Alessio Lorandi bounces back into 12th position after a contact during the first phases of the race. During the second pre-final, also his brother Leonardo Lorandi is caught in the net of bad luck and is cast down into 10th position during the first lap after a start from the pole. When Leonardo is kicked back in the alleys of the race, the challenge for victory is fought between the English Max Futrell and the Romanian Petru Florescu. The outcome is uncertain until the end, when Futrell snatched victory 0.3 seconds ahead of Florescu, while the third place goes to the Russian Nikita Sitnikov. The last pre-final of the weekend is the one dedicated to the KF category, where the French Dorian Boccolacci is able to keep the pole after a start from the first row. Behind him, we can see the carts of the English Callum Millot and of the Italian Corberi, although his dreams of podiums are short-lived. In fact, during the second lap, Ben Barnicoat overtakes him. The aggressive English driver is also able to overtake his fellow countryman Callum Millot. And so at the end of the fourth lap, Dorian Boccolacci is still in the lead and manages to keep his opponents at bay. The situation is thus unchanged until the flapping of the flag, when Boccolacci wins followed shortly after by Ben Barnicoat and Callum Millot, straight ahead of the Italian Corberi. Before delving into the finals, let us refresh our memory with these breathtaking images taken directly from the event in Precenico. Here we are, at the first of the 4 finals of the weekend. The Mini 60 drivers are already deployed on the grid, and the first row is occupied by 2 Italians, Giuseppe Fusco starting from the pole and Leonardo Marsiglia at his side. The 2013 Masters Series champion, Eliseo Martinez, is starting from the second row, and is flanked by another of the suitors to the last podium of the season, Muiz Abdul Ghaffar. The third row is a mix of Italy and Spain, and it's here that Domenico Cicognini and David Vidales have parked their karts. The first unexpected twist comes before the start of the race. In fact, Eliseo Martinez remains completely still in his position when the lights turn black and is violently hit. At first, Fear spreads among people, but after first medical evidences, the hustle and bustle quiets down. Eliseo's conditions are nowhere near serious. He just got a hideous hit and had a whiplash injury which will be enough, though, to prevent the Spanish champion to drive in the race. Right at the start, Leonardo Marsiglia leaves nothing to chance and snatches the leading position with the determination of someone who is committed to victory. Behind the top car driver, we can find Giuseppe Fusco, Domenico Cicognini and Abdul Ghaffar. Just 3 of the 10 laps are enough for Leonardo Marsiglia to accumulate more than half a second of gap between him and his opponents. Cicognini and Abdul Ghaffar are in the meantime engaged in an extreme duel for the third position. The challenge for the third place remains open among the two drivers, who are lost in overtakes and counter-overtakes until the 2 laps are left. That is when Cicognini attacks and finally passes Abdul Ghaffar, exiling him into third position. Under the final checker flag of the season, Leonardo Marsiglia triumphs 1.5 seconds ahead of Giuseppe Fusco. Domenico Cicognini completes an all-Italian podium. The participants to the second final are now getting in position. The KF Junior deployment features the impregnable English driver Lando Norris, flanked by his compatriot Max Futrell. The Finnish Nico Kari and the Romanian Petru Florescu start from the second row. The third row flaps the Russian colors with Alexander Vartayan and Nikita Mazepin. At the start, Lando Norris shoots forward like a slingshot stone. Behind him, the Finnish Kari, the English Futrell, the Romanian Florescu and the Russian Vartayan. Norris just requires 1 lap to open a gap of more than 0.6 seconds between himself and the first of his opponents, proving his unmatchable race pace. Behind Norris, the drivers are ablaze with grit and competitiveness. Nikita Sitnikov is able of passing from 4th to 2nd in the time of a single lap, overtaking and leaving behind Max Futrell, Nikita Mazepin and Nico Kari. The group chasing Lando Norris remains compact for the duration of the race, but without ever being able to close the gap with the leader, who keeps on marching towards his final goal. In the meantime, some of the Italian drivers are able to show their skills and perform remarkably during the race. These people are Ronaldo Pulcini, Cosimo Durante and Tommaso Mosca, lined up one by one between the 12th and 14th position. In the lead, Lando Norris does not make any mistake, and the British driver administers his advantage with intelligence, leaving no breach to exploit in his defense. At the end of lap 16, he triumphs under the checkered flag, half a second ahead of the Russian Sitnikov, and more than 2 seconds before Max Futrell does the same. On the podium, the satisfaction of Lando Norris, the true ruler of the weekend, even if the champion title for the 2013 season goes to Alessio Lorandi, who was extremely unlucky during his last Master Series weekend.
Yeah, it was a really good final. We had a clean sweep of the whole race this weekend. We won all the heats, pole, super pole, finals. So for us, a really good weekend. And next time we try to win and improve on the bits we were not so good on. But really good weekend, and I'd like to say a big thank you to all the team, Moose, Rick, Ole, my teammates, and family and everyone who support me. Thank you.
The third final of the track features the drivers of the KF category, led by the French Dorian Boccolacci, who deploys his energy kart in pole position. On his side, we find the English Barney Coe. The second row is occupied by the English Carlo Milot and the Italian Luca Corberi, while in the third row we can find the French Julien Darras and the Russian Vasily Romanov. At the start, Barney Coe manages to overtake Boccolacci, taking command of the race while being pursued by Ilott, Corberi, Darras and the Croatian Martin Kodrick. In the second lap, Boccolacci attacks Barney Coe, gaining the lead. The head group is compact though, and they keep ready for a new coup d'etat, which is unusually quick in the making. During the third lap, in fact, Luca Corberi on his cosmic kart performs a by-the-book maneuver and overtakes both Barnicot and Boccolacci. 3 laps are more than enough for Luca Corberi to show his opponents who is the fastest on the track today. In these 3 laps, Corberi opens a 1-second gap from the main group and plays the fight for the second position. Callum Ilott, Ben Barnicot and Julien Darras fight it head-to-head while Boccolacci keeps on losing position until he is forced to retire during the 7th lap. In the last 2 laps of the race, Luca Corberi again feels the pressure of his opponents behind him, but manages to keep a 0.2 seconds margin over the English Callum Ilott and to win the final ahead of the 2 Englishmen Ilott and Barnicot. On the podium, we can see the happiness of Luca Corberi, winner with an impressive performance. In the meantime, the KZ pilots are ready on the grid for the last Master Final season. In pole position, we find the English Benjamin Hanley on his R Grand Prix. The Dutchman Max Verstappen closes the front row. Second row for the Monegasque Charles Leclerc and the Italian Enrico Bernardotto. In the third row, Mattia Ronzano and Alessandro Manetti. At the start, Max Verstappen's CRG takes the lead, but even before the first lap is completed, Benjamin Hanley conquers the first position ahead of Leclerc and Verstappen. Verstappen is not as greedy as you might remember him this time around. It looks like the European title has sated the Dutch's appetite, and with the conquering of the Master Series, the young CRG pilot has started driving with the attitude of someone who can make do with whatever happens. In the third lap, Verstappen turns back to its old gritty self, the same gritty self who pulled off a nearly perfect season, and so he is able to reconquer the second place, and places himself just 2 tenths behind Hanley. Benjamin feels Max's breath on his neck, and so floors the accelerator, and is able to bring the gap back to 1 second. In the meantime, Alessandro Manetti is the best of the Italian drivers, featuring a 4th position. The race comes to an end without further shuffling of the top positions. This confirms the well-deserved success of the English Benjamin Hanley, the 2nd position of Max Verstappen, and the 3rd place of Charles Leclerc. The drivers are awarded on the podium by Remo Gobbi, owner of the Pata sponsor, who was amused by a day marked by competitiveness and challenges, which characterize every event of the WSK calendar.
We had a fantastic weekend. We made the pole position. We won the 2 heats in the final yesterday, the first heat today and the final, so we had a great weekend. It arrived a bit late. Hopefully we were looking to push on a bit earlier in the season, but it gives us a good position for the World Championships, which is our next race.
After the last round of the Master Series 2013, the general standings report that in the Mini 60, Eliseo Martinez is the 2013 champion thanks to 168 points. In second place, Leonardo Marsaglia with a score of 131, and the Indian Kush Maini closes the season third with 123 points. In the KF Junior, Alessio Lorandi is the champion of 2013, thanks to a booty of 204 points. The second place goes to English Lando Norris with 184 points. The Russian Nikita Siknikov is third with 121 points. In the KF class, the French Dorian Boccolacci wins the championship thanks to a grand total of 226 points. In second place, the English Ben Barnicot with 127 points. The third place goes to the Polish Karol Bas with 107 points. Finally, the KZ with the Dutchman Max Verstappen wins the championship with 221 points. In second place, we can find the English Benjamin Hanley with 133 points. And in third position, we find the Italian Riccardo Nigro with 109 points. This closes the 2013 season for the WSK Masters Series, but the excitement of the kart world goes on during the next weekend, when races on the Ortona track will award the European Championship title for KF and KF Junior.